Okay, so we've just done the low release backhand down here. Obviously we don't want to just release on that side, we need to get off a low release forehand. So what are the mechanics of that? This is a bit harder, but it looks so cool, it's really worth it. It's also a really key skill if you're up against a zone, or if you just want to throw around a really persistent mark. Okay, so we've got the same sort of grip again as a normal forehand. Thumb on top, rings in the kind of, fingers in the kind of spot position. Here we're gripping it tightly. Unlike the backhand where we could kind of bring our hand a bit on top, it doesn't really work very easily to get your hand much more round. You can do it a little bit, rather than that you're a bit like that, but it's kind of hard to get it much further and still have good contact with the frisbee. Like I did with the backhand, instead of just stepping and then having one's gut bounce off your leg, we're going to make a bit of room for ourselves to get lower, and I'm going to point my toe away from my receiver. So I'm throwing in this direction, I'm going to point my toe away. I can't get it all the way round that way, and there's no need to, but that pushes my knee out, and it opens space here so I can get my hips down and I can reach further forward. And because I can't really change my grip much, my wrist is doing a bit of the bending here. So I'm reaching down, same sort of throw, my torso is coming down, it's still straight, and I'm coming through like this. So I'm making sure that the disc is flat, because often the temptation is to kind of throw it like this, but then that's a very strong IO and gets in all sorts of trouble with the wind. So we want to try and make sure the wrist is bending enough to get this throw on. And the last part, as with backhands, with forehands we need to put a bit of air bounce on it. Now this is a tricky skill. With the backhand it was fairly easy because we could use our thumb on the top to kind of push the disc out of the sort of flat plane into going like this, and because it's spinning hard, the frisbee goes along and then rises up. For the forehand we're going to do the same, but right at the end, as it's coming off our fingers, we're going to push down on the back edge of the disc, and that's what's going to allow it to rise up. So it's coming out of our fingers and we're pushing down on the back edge of the disc as it's leaving our hand, and that means it's tipping up, and that's going to give it a bit of air bounce. We don't want too much, otherwise it's going to bob right up. We just want a little bit, and that's going to ensure it keeps rising towards our receiver. Okay, we'll do some demos, so stop there. So now we're in the regular forehand position. My torso is facing my receiver. Like I said a minute ago, I'm going to step out. I'm releasing the disc just in front of my shin. Yeah.